the Ancorage is what we're going to look at next. It's a third EP. It's called What We Go Through, and they're from Salt Lake City, Utah. I know things, and they play a sort of. It's unfair to call them ska punk. There is a bit of punk in there, but not to try and try and classify them as a whole. They are more alternative rock, I'll say, but I'll get to more what they are musically in a bit. But yeah, like scary alternative rock kind of thing. I found the Anchorage and thought, yeah, it's just going to be some easy listening ska punk for me to digest. It's going to be a lot more easier to listen to than and a lot of the post metal album that I've just, like with post metal and the Buchan Gauge, you probably got to like focus on it and find the intricacies. I thought with this, it's going to be very easy listening, very just chilled, laid back, fun time kind of thing, and it is a fun time. But there's a lot more beneath the surface, and I'm almost ashamed that I glossed over it all. If you take away the the brass from the opening song, Weird Night Sleepy Day, honestly, it does challenge One Arm Scissor by At the Drive-In musically. In fact, I'd even say it challenges One Arm Scissor if it was fronted by Jim Ward the entire way, instead of whichever quadruple barreled name sings it instead. I always get confused between Omar and I can't even remember the other one's name at the moment. The choruses do revert back to that more scary, rocky, scary punk kind of sound. The riffs post chorus are they are what really initially triggered me to think, hang on a minute, are they just covering it underneath? No, they're just very, very clever with it all. Excuse me. The song that really goes to the ska punk stereotype that I was talking about before and what I thought this was going to be is track 3, Donny. The brass work, the brass section is Evan Wharton, Eric Vorkink. I knew I was going to get that wrong. I spelled it wrong earlier. Miles Lawrence. They play a selection of trumpets, trombones, and saxophones. They are like the lead instrument in Donny. They play the riffs whilst the guitarists play like the usual scratch effect kind of thing. And then at the 2-minute 30 mark, the rest of the band starts Derek Harmon on vocals, Jason Bohan on drums, and then Jake Bills on bass. They come in, also Harmon does guitars, they come in and go full punk rock on the song as well. So you have got that little bit of ska punk in there, but it's so, like, I really want to stress, it's so much more than just a standard ska punk record, well, EP. There is, I think it's more in tune with post-hardcore so broad now, but like the very the alt rock influence post rock, I should say. So, not post rock, sorry, the alt rock influence post hardcore. I will get my words right one day. The next song, Hold On, is a lot more relaxed. It's a borderline reggae kind of track, and it sounds like it's fronted from James by. It sounds like it's fronted by James from Death Havana, which was a weird band to be caught in my head when I was listening to this. Not a band I would expect to be talking about anytime soon. And the whole thing ends with One of These Days, which sounds like Streetlight Manifesto covering Billy Talent. It starts off with your usual ska punk kind of affair before exploding into this very, very punk heavy, borderline post-hardcore, like I said before, chorus. I'm really staggered this hasn't picked up more. Like, I feel that, for me at least, every like rock music phase that I grew up with had a moment in this album. So you've got ska in there, you got punk, you got pop punk, you got post-hardcore, you got alternative rock. It's all there. So I feel like this should be more widely known and more widely listened to and catered for, but I'm shrugging my shoulders. You can't see that, but just know I'm shrugging my shoulders saying I don't know. If you are a fan of Streetlight Manifesto, I mentioned it earlier, you go for this. I think Sonic Boom 6 as well. I know they do a lot more hip hop kind of things with the sound as well. But when they are more scarry alt rock kind of thing, then you could easily go for Ancorage. Kids in the Multiculture is the one that springs to mind. And as a song, it's a song. That's fucking great. I can see the music video, and that's why it's irritating me. But as it's carrying on, also Rocket from the Crypt as well, because similarly to the Anchorage, Rocket from the Crypt kind of get stereotyped as, oh, it's a punk band, where there's so much more to their sound, and there's so much more interesting as a part of that. Yeah, Kids in the Multiculture. Sorry, going back to the Sonic Boom 6 point. I forget you can't see this. A little bit of Virus as well. Mostly the self-titled album. There's a lot of crossover there, and yeah, I think Rocket from the Crypt, in the same way they get pigeonholed as this one thing. When you actually listen to them, you realise there's a lot more going on. Same sort of thing for the Anchorage. So, Straight Up Manifesto, Sonic Boom 6, Rocket from the Crypt. Like any of them, I suggest you give the Anchorage a go. It is their EP, What We Go Through. And I'm really sorry, lads, that I didn't do the words good